Hey Bears fans, let's talk about something that every Chicago supporter has been waiting to feel for a long time. Real optimism. There's finally a sense that this team, this quarterback, and this locker room are starting to believe in something bigger than just progress. Caleb Williams is giving fans a reason to think long-term, to dream about a future where the Bears actually have a franchise quarterback who can win them games when everything else seems to be falling apart. Now, let's be real. Caleb isn't perfect. Nobody's saying that. He still has moments where the rhythm disappears, especially in those second quarters where the offense seems to stall out. But even in those stretches, the growth is visible. His poise, his decision-making under pressure, and the way he commands a huddle, it's all starting to come together. You can see it in the body language of his teammates, too. There's this quiet confidence spreading through the sideline, a belief that when the ball is in Caleb's hands, something good might happen. That's something Chicago hasn't truly had in years. And let's talk about accuracy, because that's been the big topic around Caleb for weeks. Sure, the completion percentage still has room to improve, but context matters. Against the Giants, the receivers just didn't do him any favors. There were at least 6 drops that were officially counted, and anyone watching could argue it should have been closer to 8 or even 10. When you remove those drops, you realize that Caleb was actually one of the more accurate quarterbacks on the field that day. Some of those deep shots, the ones to DJ Moore and Zaccheaus in the end zone, those were beautiful throws. Perfect placement, just begging to be caught. The kind of passes only elite arms can make. That's the thing with Caleb. The guy generates explosive plays. He takes risks, but they're controlled, calculated risks. He doesn't turn the ball over. And that's rare for a young quarterback still learning the speed of the league. Sure, every coach would love to have a 70% completion passer, but if you're getting a guy who can stretch the field, use his legs, and still protect the football, that's a special combination. You can win a lot of football games with that formula. You could feel it last night. This was one of those games where the Bears didn't win because of the defense or because everything clicked. They won because their quarterback took over. That's what separates good teams from great ones, when a leader under center decides the outcome. Twice in the fourth quarter, Caleb led those drives straight down the field. One ended with a gorgeous touchdown strike to Rome. The other, a confident naked bootleg to the left for the score. Calm, collected, and totally locked in. That's the version of Caleb that makes fans believe he's the guy for the next decade. The improvement in his vertical passing is maybe the biggest leap from earlier this year. Those layered throws, especially the one up the seam to Zaccheaus that should have been caught, that's the type of ball that only quarterbacks with elite touch and confidence attempt. The timing, the anticipation, the way he's trusting his arm more with every game, it's all coming together. Even when his targets drop passes, you can see how much sharper and more precise his deep game has become. And then there's his sack avoidance. That's becoming one of his trademarks already. Ben Johnson even called him Houdini after the game. It's easy to see why. The Giants' defensive front was living in the backfield, but Caleb just kept slipping away. He spun out of a sack from Brian Burns, dodged another from Abdul Carter, and still managed to make positive plays. That pocket awareness, that ability to sense pressure without panicking, is something you can't really teach. It's instinct, and Caleb has it in spades. Last season, there were questions about leadership. Could this guy lead a team? Could he handle the locker room when things got rough? Well, those doubts are fading fast. Veterans like Kevin Byard were openly praising him after the game, talking about his maturity and calmness. That's not just empty talk. When a veteran leader calls out your quarterback as the reason they believe they can win, that carries weight. It shows that the team isn't just following orders, they're rallying behind him. There's a calmness to Caleb in high-pressure moments that feels different. Some players tighten up when the spotlight hits, but not him. He seems to slow the game down. It's like he locks into this tunnel vision where the chaos around him doesn't exist. You can see it in his eyes, that it's my moment kind of look. And the results speak for themselves, for game-winning drives already this season. That's tied for a single-season Bears record, and we're not even done yet. There are still 8 games left to play. At this rate, he's going to shatter that record. Ben Johnson said something powerful in the locker room celebration. He looked around at the players and said, "This guy's got ice in his veins." The best is yet to come. And that's exactly what it feels like watching Caleb right now. The confidence, the control, the way he delivers when it matters. It's all pointing towards something special. Let's talk about that arm strength for a second. Because honestly, this guy might already have one of the top 2 or 3 strongest arms in the league. The velocity, the way the ball explodes out of his hand, it's ridiculous. Some even argue he surpassed Mahomes in pure arm talent. Mahomes still has the creativity, sure, but in terms of raw power, Caleb's right there with Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. And it's not just about throwing lasers. He's starting to show touch too, those soft floaters over linebackers, the perfectly placed sideline shots. That's what separates an athlete from a complete quarterback. The chemistry with his receivers is still a work in progress, but when it clicks, this offense can be electric. You can tell the players feed off his energy. When Caleb's locked in, everyone plays harder. And it's not just about highlight plays. It's about the tone he sets, the calmness in the huddle, the confidence on the sideline, the way he takes ownership when things go wrong. You can see the difference. The whole atmosphere around this team feels new, like they finally have a foundation to build on. If the games are close late, you trust him now. That's not something Bears fans have been able to say in a long time. He's not always going to deliver. No quarterback does. But you feel good knowing he's the one with the ball. That matters. That's how great quarterbacks build their legacy. Now, the big question fans keep asking, has Caleb Williams fully arrived? Is he already the franchise guy, the one who changes everything? Maybe not 100% yet, but he's close. If you ask me to rate it, I'd say somewhere around an 8 or 9 out of 10. He's on that trajectory. The progress is real. The mistakes are smaller. The decision-making is sharper, and the leadership is growing stronger every week. This is what hope looks like for a team that's been searching for answers at quarterback for decades. You don't need perfection yet. You just need proof that the ceiling is high enough to dream again. And with Caleb Williams, you can see it clear as day. The arm talent, the mental toughness, the leadership, it's all there. It's not about potential anymore. It's about growth. And right now, that growth is happening fast. So yeah, Bears fans, for the first time in a long time, it feels like the arrow is pointing up. Caleb Williams isn't just surviving. He's starting to thrive. He's making believers out of skeptics, turning tough games into statements, and showing the kind of maturity that could redefine what this team looks like for years to come. And as Ben Johnson said, the best is yet to come. All right. Let's keep rolling and dive deeper into what's happening around Caleb Williams and this Bears team. One of the most exciting things to watch is how the supporting cast is starting to elevate around him. Receivers, tight ends, running backs. Everyone begins to feel the energy when your quarterback is dialed in. But even though the connections are improving, there's still some matchups and rotations that need attention. Zaccheaus, for example, has had some rough outings recently. It's clear that he's a talented player, but consistency has been a problem. Drops at crucial moments, missed opportunities. It's frustrating to watch, but that's part of the growing pains in a dynamic offense that's still finding its rhythm. Enter Luther Burden. This guy has been making waves quietly, but his production speaks volumes. On far fewer targets, he's been more efficient, catching almost everything thrown his way, generating yardage after the catch, and scoring touchdowns without a single drop. It's one of those situations where the numbers are impossible to ignore. Burden's impact per touch is off the charts. He's the kind of player who can change a game just by getting on the field, and it's becoming more evident that it might be time for him to assume a larger role in this offense. This is where strategic decisions become fascinating. How do you balance your veteran receiver with a young, explosive talent? Zaccheaus still has a role, still contributes in certain packages, but when you see the kind of efficiency and playmaking ability Luther Burden brings, it's hard not to advocate for more snaps, more targets, and more opportunities for him to thrive. You can still rotate the veterans in, of course, but long-term, this offense should be built around Rome, Burden, and Loveland, a core of young playmakers capable of stretching defenses vertically and horizontally, opening up everything for Caleb to operate with freedom. Speaking of spreading the field, the Bears have to pay attention to the health and availability of their receivers too. DJ Moore has been battling injuries, shoulder, hip, and groin. yet he's still contributing. The question is whether it makes sense to manage his workload to keep him effective late in the season. If Moore can't go full throttle, that opens up even more opportunities for Burden to step in and make statement. And when you combine that with the already growing connection between Caleb and these emerging playmakers, you start to see the kind of explosive offense that can dominate games. Meanwhile, the defensive side of the ball also needs attention. The secondary has been inconsistent over the last few weeks. Tyreek Stevenson, who was on fire earlier this season, has struggled since returning from injury. Nan Wright, a career backup, is giving it everything he has, but the gap in production is noticeable. That's where bringing in someone like Asani Samuel Jr. could make a meaningful difference. If he's healthy and in shape, he's an immediate upgrade over at least one of the struggling corners. His experience, physicality, and ability to disrupt passing lanes could stabilize a secondary that has been shaky recently. The strategic integration of new talent is crucial, especially late in the season when injuries start to pile up. Even if Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, and other key players return later, the team needs depth and versatility right now. Adding a player like Samuel Jr., even on a short-term basis, can provide security and create competition that pushes the existing roster to elevate their play. It's not just about plugging holes. It's about raising the overall level of performance across the team. Competition breeds excellence, and right now the Bears need every advantage they can get. Offensively, the beauty of Caleb Williams' game is how he creates options. He's not just throwing deep. He's manipulating coverage, using his legs, and understanding when to trust his read progression. The more confidence he gets from his coaches and teammates, the more natural this process becomes. When receivers like Burden or Rome are stepping up and making plays, it reinforces his belief in the system. That feedback loop, quarterback making plays, receivers making plays, running backs adding yards, the offensive line giving protection, it all compounds into a rhythm that can be lethal. The Bears are starting to see the potential of that rhythm. It's not fully polished yet, but glimpses of brilliance are everywhere. Game-winning drives, clutch completions, precision passes under pressure. These aren't flukes. These are signs of a quarterback who is quickly ascending. And as the offense becomes more cohesive, the opportunities for big plays multiply. Caleb's growth is intertwined with the emergence of players like Burden, the maturation of veterans, and smart decisions about personnel rotations. It's an ecosystem, and when each piece is operating at a high level, the ceiling becomes enormous. Defensively, adding Samuel Jr. or shoring up the secondary allows the offense to operate with less pressure. Fewer third and longs, better field position, and fewer turnovers translate directly into more opportunities for Caleb to control the game. It's all connected. The better the defense, the more aggressive the offense can be, and vice versa. The Bears have an opportunity to create synergy that can change the course of the season. And that starts with recognizing talent, rewarding production, and putting players in positions where they can succeed. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's a storm brewing in the NFL rumor mill, and once again, Jerry Jones is right at the center of it. The Dallas Cowboys owner, never one to shy away from a microphone, has apparently set the football world buzzing after some unexpected comments about the Chicago Bears. While the Cowboys season continues under intense scrutiny, it's Jones's off-field remarks that have fans and analysts talking. According to insiders close to the organization, Jones was in rare form during a recent media appearance. When asked about the state of the league and potential team trajectories, he reportedly pivoted to the Bears in a way no one anticipated. "They're up to something, I can tell you that," he allegedly said with a half-smile that immediately sent reporters scrambling for clarification. Some took it as a jab, others as genuine intrigue. But with Jerry Jones, you never really know. Speculation spread like wildfire across social media. Was Jones hinting at admiration for Chicago's recent front office moves? Or was he suggesting something deeper, perhaps a possible trade connection, or even a subtle dig at the NFC North contender struggles. Cowboys fans were quick to defend their outspoken owner, while Bears supporters demanded to know exactly what he meant. One longtime NFL commentator described the situation as classic Jerry, part showman, part strategist. Those familiar with Jones's media style know he loves to stir the pot, sometimes to motivate his own team, sometimes just to see how the league reacts. Whatever the intent, his words about the Bears have clearly touched a nerve. Some insiders claim the comments came after a private discussion with league executives, fueling theories that there might be talks brewing behind the scenes. Could Jones be signaling interest in one of Chicago's star players? Or maybe hinting at changes in how teams are run at the ownership level? Nothing is confirmed, but the whispers keep growing louder. For now, the football world waits, because when Jerry Jones talks, even cryptically, the league listens. And if his remarks about the Bears mean what some think they do, this could be just the beginning of another offseason full of surprises. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.